Be seeing the gun back between Vem10Kilo and God, Vem10Kilo's tag keeps pushing out.
I'm telling you, like his name is so long it ruins reading the bracket.
Vem10Kilo and Wess going up against Loyalist and Kyna. That winners finals match, that was a shutout. That was a shutout.
We'll see if Lores and Kyna got what it takes, because it's kind of what we saw earlier, I believe, in Europe, which was we saw the 3-0, and then we saw the grand final reset with a 3-0, and then we saw ultimately in that final set that it was a 3-0 for the team that originally won in winners finals. See if Kyna can get through this.
Vem off stage almost secured that early stock off of Kyna. Luckily was able to refresh the dodge in time and use that as a tool to make it back on. That is going to be Vem10Kilo's first stock gone. Tries to get the follow up. I love the idea off that D-Sig, but not going to be able to connect it.
So we're seeing an interesting choice coming out from Kyna with the Brawlhalla pick. We haven't seen Kyna move over onto that Taros, which is arguably a more meta pick. Of course, Blaster's got the nerf, but Brawlhalla's kind of always held this like hybrid in meta, out of meta. It seemed like if you're the right player for Brawlhalla, then Brawlhalla is the right legend for you if we're looking at like Cody Travis.
And I will say, this is the first time that we're seeing Blasters all weekend, or at least for Sparky and myself. I don't believe I've seen a single one between EU and SA.
I'm trying to like play back all of the noises that I've heard this weekend, and I don't really think I've heard Blasters noises.
Yeah, no, not at all. So, 2 stocks apiece for everybody onto the board. Loyalist going off stage here, trying to get something off on Vem10Kilo. Just making sure that Wess has a clean way to get back down to the stage. Now Wess on the boots here. Once again, you have to have Vem be the one to lob attacks with the boots, and
them struggling. Yeah, that noise is exactly how me and everybody out there is feeling right now after seeing Vem10Kilo falling and losing that stock. Not losing his first, but losing his second stock. Wess might be right behind. Okay, I almost thought he was going to get caught under the stage with like some weird friction, and we were going to see Wess end up falling as well.
Oh, look at this 2v1. Look at the amount of damage, and Vem
I thought that was going to do it. I really thought that
too.
was going to do it because it's Brawlhalla.
Brawlhalla just has that much force, just has that much attack power and lethality at any given moment. Now Vem waiting, now playing this 1v1 against Loyalist, who is just honestly winning a lot of these interactions. Vem has been kept out of play for so long. Vem has been constantly knocked off stage over and over again, finally able to get in there, knocking Loyalist off stage, getting that huge downer, but man, just not a lot of presence this game, and finally falling into deciding.
And this is the first time, depending on the RNG, I was thinking like, oh, maybe there's a potential that we still don't ever see Blasters, because Kyna is most likely really opting for that axe. I'm sure we'll see that when we look at the actual stats from the game and the weapon breakdown between these two. Yeah, Kyna put out 479 of his damage on the axe, and the rest, 64, was put out on the Blasters, which was literally like what we saw there at the end. It was like a couple hits and then that D-Light recovery, and that was essentially everything he did with the Blasters kit. Because if you're playing Brawlhalla, definitely now, chances are you're doing it for the axe, and you're doing it for some of the unique signature properties, like the neutral signature that has that grab and the turnaround. It's a cheeky little signature. And then also what we saw earlier, where he almost got the KO onto Vem10Kilo with the side signature, because it has so much movement that it brings you closer to the blast zone and then dumps all that force on you.
So, going into this next game, the biggest thing I want to look at is Vem being a presence and being in this game.
Okay.
Because I gotta say, this last game, maybe not so much. Granted, both Wess and Vem, they never got a lot of combos targeted. They didn't have a lot of damage, but it just felt like Vem kept getting knocked off stage. And that's, you know, it's very abstract. There's not necessarily one thing to point out of like, hey, why did this happen? But look, it's happening again. Vem got put into the corner, got put off stage. Wess wanted to go for the GCD light. Okay, putting Kyna in a bit of a juggle situation. Now Vem getting something started on Kyna, getting a couple of hits in.
I think Wess is already doing a better job this game with the light attack kit on the boots previously, but one of the things I think we need to see if we want to see a Wess and Vem10Kilo victory is I need to be seeing some of those green signature effects. That was something that was working so well for Wess earlier. Nice side air from Kyna to clean up that first stock. Let's see if Lores, yes, there's that next dare, the dodge.
Oh, such a good avoidance.
He's still able to get back. I thought Lores was going to get it, either a weapon toss or a falling nair, because you can cover a little bit more space with it.
I'm surprised that wasn't the weapon toss. Instead went through the down and instead misspaced it, mistimed it, but that's okay. Kyna holding on to this stock still, and that is the beauty of Brawlhalla. Coming back onto the stage, waiting, being nice and patient, looking through the side light, and finally that is going to be Wess taking that stock off the top. 2 stocks apiece for everybody. A little bit more of an even game than we saw last time around. Let's see if Vem and Wess can take it back.
And now we're starting to see some of those green flames come out from Wess, and I'm not talking about the Lil B album. I'm talking about the signatures from Teska. Ground pound coming out from Lores, takes away that stock from Wess. Appa's going to bring him back in, see if he can get to a weapon.
Okay, Kyna just playing back a little bit, looking to whip punish that Lance, and Yes is going to be able to do so successfully, backing up past the range. And now, once again, Kyna and Lores up 4 stocks to 2 at the moment. Ooh, I gotta say, I love the Brawlhalla pick solely for the axe, just because of how much damage output it has at the moment. Oh no.
And you also take some of that high defense as well, which you mentioned earlier. If you're an axe player, like Brawlhalla is not the worst pick. I don't want to see like your average everyday player moving onto the Brawlhalla, but if you are the type of player that succeeds on Brawlhalla, you should absolutely take Brawlhalla. And I know that's like that's a dumb thing to say, like, oh yeah, if you're good with Brawlhalla, hey yeah, duh, you should take Brawlhalla. Silly guy, but it's absolutely evident in the way that Kyna is playing this axe.
It is, absolutely. And my question is that axe ever going to be knocked? Kyna, is that weapon ever going to be knocked off? And then Kyna's never going to be able to pick up an axe again and then just be stuck to blasters. And then we'll see how well Kyna actually does with blasters and twos, because I feel like we just haven't had an opportunity to showcase that. There was never a reason to showcase that either because of how effective it's been. Now, look at this switch. We have a lot of axes on the screen.
It's the double Rayman. It's been a very long time since I've seen something like this. One of the difficulties that I would certainly have when playing like double legends like this is like I'll be like, oh, which one's me? I'm gonna get confused about which one is me, especially when like all the chaos is going on from 2v2s, and of course it is the same legend and they have the same hair, even though Wess is playing the spookier one. It's not like he's wearing the helmet on it. So something that these players have in them lets them understand and dissect what's going on and realize where they are, realize where their teammate is, and realize where each of their opponents are as well.
Them needing to get back onto the stage. Kyna getting a couple of big hits and backing off a little bit, looking to maybe catch them dashing in at this point. Looking for the recovery, backing off. Not able to get that sidelight pick off, but I think that was a cute idea, wasn't it? To try and follow up off of the axe neutralite.
Wess is going to be the first one to fall. So far in this game, that recovery comes out from Lores. He's able to find the KO as well. That is a full team wipe on the red team. Lores gets sent high. I mean, we also, like, we talk about the high defense on Kyna's Brawlhalla, but Lores also has quite a bit of defense as well. One of the things that kept him alive there as he was sent off screen, high up in the sky, that neutralite again, a legend with less defense, he would have fallen there. The down air still got the wall touch, able to get over, and Vim is unable to confirm that edge guard. That's got to be tough.
Yeah, wanted that spike so badly. Luckily, Lores' stock is finally gone and off the table. Vem going to be cleaning it up that time around. Now, Kyna, how do you make it back onto the stage? Vem going to be looking for the down air, does not find said down air, gets popped up. Kyna is still hanging on to the stock, and Kyna is getting a lot of extra credit for it. A lot. A ridiculous amount, in fact.
Wess with the side sig skateboard off the side. They're still unable to take this stock from Kyna until now. They built up so much damage in the process that Lores is able to pick up both of them with a side sig and get the KO, all while still being in the orange and kind of fresh as a daisy on second.
This was a completely unpredictable evening, especially if you saw how Winners Finals went. Guess what? This is not how Winners Finals went in the slightest. So, I can ask what happened over and over again, but honestly, Kyna and Lores are just playing out of their minds and playing the way that they should be at the moment.
But this could be like the Godly Knees Coco Munir set, where they got the bracket reset 3-0 and then all of a sudden got stomped into an oblivion.
And speaking of getting stomped, Wess going out there, able to get that ground pound, and
Yup.
On the list of things that shouldn't have happened, red team having a lead over blue team in this situation was not on my bingo card. Okay, I'm not old enough to play bingo. Kyna off stage. Wess looking for the edge guard.
Okay.
Wess.
Oh, he bet everything on that. You saw the chase dodge up and then the recommitment after that. And Vem Tankilo and Wess are at least going to deny the bracket reset for one more game.
That was super easy. That I did not expect that in the slightest. I thought this was going to be blue team's game. I thought this was going to be the bracket reset, but Lores' stock just evaporated, and then it was gone, and then it became a 2v1. And then Vem and Wess, they really locked down the team combos. They were able to get a lot off of each other. They both had like the same weapon on, so they were just able to follow each other's angles so well. Beautiful stuff, honestly.
Yeah, that last stock of Lores that just kind of disappeared, that was really tough, because that was like shades of what we saw earlier today from Lores, which ended up causing the blue team to lose quite often, and we just saw that there in that game. So see if they can tighten it up after that one. Of course, we're going back to the exact same stage. This double Rayman doing a great job of just barely holding on, denying that bracket reset.
Oh, that swing again, looking for the down in.
Nice.
That coverage.
Nice.
That coverage. Sparky, you know what? That was insane, and that was sick. That was, one of them went out there, swung with the side and whiffed, and then Vem was like, ah, that's cool, that's fine, I got you, I'm gonna go behind you.
Yep.
Anywhere that you go, it will be covered. Getting back onto the stage against Axe, difficult as it is. 2 axes, 2 of them. The enemy of trees, and clearly blue team as well.
Vim Tankilo he was covering the home base. He was making sure that nobody back ranks you. And then the forward operating base was Wess, extending out so that he could find that second KO so that they got the team wipe.
Yep, the dynamic that they have going on at the moment, I would love to see if they can hold on to it. Now, that's going to be Brawlhalla, that's going to be Kyna taking out Wess's first stock finally, but look at how much damage is onto the board, and more importantly, they knocked out Kyna really far off stage, were able to focus on Warriors, and then still continue to allow Kyna to suffer, holding on to the second stock, begging to be put out of its mercy.
Let's see if Kyna, his axe was looking so good, and then all of a sudden 2 axes popped up on the other side, and it's just not looking as good as he's sent down to final stocks. Vim Tankilo able to get back over because Wess was holding back Lores.
Wess!
Yep.
Wess!
Yep.
Oh my god! Wess was like, hey, you cannot touch him. You cannot touch my teammate at all. I will be there. I will be behind you. I will find you in your sleep. I will go into your home. That was crazy. That recovery was amazing.
Talking about home invasions here. I don't know if it's that serious, Dara. But the point of it, the overall result of that was he also ended up hitting his teammate. Okay, we might be, all right, we're probably going to be going to a game 5, but the point of it was like, yeah, you did some team damage. You ended up hitting your boy. At worst case, you knock out your boy, he has a stock left on his side, and you take Lores out the game. Best case scenario, like what happened is you hit your teammate, you do less damage, you do less force, so that he didn't get knocked out and the opponent did, and all of a sudden, Lores is gone, now Kyna is gone, and Vim Tankilo and Wess are giving us an interesting set here, denying the bracket reset yet again, now with potential to win it all in the next game.
Something clicked. Something actually shifted in the way that they're both covering space off of each other. They're leaving such few gaps in their play. And it is really looking now like Lores and Kyna are struggling to find any openings in neutral, especially when it comes to disadvantage. When both of them are out there, when one of them is ready to interrupt you, when one of them is ready to cover space behind you, the dynamic that Vem and Wess have is top tier at the moment. It is so difficult to defeat.
And on the other side, Lores, 195 damage was all that he could do. He did 1 unarmed damage. I don't even know how you do 1 unarmed damage, unless it was like a neutral air getting the last hit. I legitimately don't understand how that works, and I would like someone to explain that to me if anybody out there knows. But Kyna did 640, which is great, but not when your teammate does under 200. Oh, okay, all of a sudden, things are starting to turn around. First stock here goes to Kyna. Big take off the top with the blasters, chasing very high.
Yeah, love the fact that we're seeing now Kyna with the blasters, right? And actually being able to showcase those, especially how scary it can be when you're up in the skies. You can cover the ground with down air, you can go up with your recovery. You become such a presence up in the skies that you make it difficult for them to really jump in against you. Whereas Vem and Wess, they have taken the lead on who is dominating with axes.
On the other side, let's see. Okay, now Kyna's got the axe. Hoping he can do some big damage here. There's the side light into the recovery. There's the neutral light. He can turn that around. Oh, I thought he was going to get the axe side air, but he didn't quite make contact with it.
Okay, Vem and Kyna getting knocked off at the same time.
Oh, I thought he was going to go for it. Ends up getting edge guarded. Not really edge guarded because it was high and above the main platform, but still, the stock of Kyna's went away. And we have 5 stocks to 4, but Wess is extremely damaged here. He's going to have to be careful. He's still pushing these initiations onto Kyna, going for these reads, of course, as you do when you have gauntlets in your hands based off of that side light.
Okay, everybody now 2 stocks apiece. Vem looking really healthy. Wess, a little bit not so much, huh? All the way deep into red. Okay, looking for the recovery. Lores is going in on Vem, just juggling and dealing a lot of damage at the moment. Wess getting launched off stage and taking a long time to get back on, and Vem is getting bullied for it.
That's what they're doing, is they're completely focusing on Vem in those moments because they know when Wess gets back on the stage, they'll just hit him away again, and he'll be gone for 15 seconds while he's respawning back to the stage. Ultimately, that time towards the end, they ended up actually getting the KO, and then their focus was, of course, back on Vimtankilo, and they got that stock as well. So now it's 4 stocks to 2. Blue team in a pretty good spot, kind of doing a good job. Oh, red team, both of them moved over.
Vem did not know who he wanted to go into in that moment. Wess wanted to get the recovery follow-up. I thought it was a lovely idea. Unfortunately, down a little bit too low and ended up misspacing it. Vem holding on, gets that recovery, knocking Kyna down, knocking Loyalist down. This can go either way. A little bit of damage on them. Definitely blue team favored at the moment, but it is not guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed, especially with the way this evening has gone.
And like we see these players opting for the axe so often, we see Wess throw his gauntlets away immediately once there is a weapon spawn there so that he can go over to that axe. We did see that cheeky D-Sig that he gravity canceled over on the edge. One of the few times we've seen that completely, really this entire day, and we've seen a few Raymans.
Yeah, Vem still somehow staying afloat. Wess able to pull off that 1v2 just long enough for Vem to get back onto the stage. D-Light into the neutral, the side light, excuse me, into the neutral. Vem waiting, being patient, getting back onto the stage here. Recovery the other direction as this last second mix-up. And now this is difficult. How do you make it back? You might just not at this
He
point.
has gauntlet side air, but of course the second he gets anywhere near the main platform, it's down airs coming out from Lores. Didn't even need another one. If he had the potential to touch there, of course, Lores was there ready and threw out that down air. We have a bracket reset.
This is the kind of a set that I'm glad is going to bracket reset, because I can, for the first time tonight, without any amount of confidence, say I have no idea who's going to win. I have no idea who's going to be able to take the set, because they have been going back and forth from having even games to having one team dominate the other to having the other team dominate the other. This is back and forth. I just have no idea what's going on.
And even within the team themselves, there has been virtually no consistency. Like this game, you see Lores doing 604 damage, picking up 4 KOs. You've seen other games where he does under 200 damage, gets no KOs, and was all but a liability in that game. Same thing, well, not quite has gone on the other side, but you've seen games where Vimtankilo is doing the lion's share of the damage, and then you've seen the games where Wess does the lion's share of the damage. Sometimes Wess gets more KOs. That time he only picked up 1, and Vimtankilo picked up 3.
I will say, the way that this opened off, with Kyna getting that really early stock off the top with the recovery, is what kind of set the precedent for this game right with the Blasters. That was really, really huge. You get that kind of an opening right off the bat. Excellent. So, going into this next set, I really like the double Rayman still. I think this is a pretty solid composition, because when it works, it works. It's just really solid. The only thing is, they are struggling significantly to get out of the corner a little bit more than usual, especially when you have Loyalist just sort of sitting there holding onto all these different signatures, kind of playing back a little bit more. They're like trying to navigate this little bit of space that they're given and jump around. They're getting hit by something eventually. So that entire last stock, I will say, Kyna and Loyalist, they played it beautifully. They held onto their advantage. They held onto the stage. They did not let them get back to center stage when they didn't need to.
We'll see what they got this game. We're still going over to the Demon Island. There have been so many crazy shenanigans on this map that I'm surprised that both teams, like one team is leaving it open and the other team is choosing it. With the crazy hijinks that go on the side wall for both teams, honestly, I would just avoid it, because it seems like a coin flip based on who is going to come out on top. There is no double axe just yet coming out from the red team. Wess has it in his hands. Vimtankilo is probably waiting for a weapon spawn so he can swap over to it, but I bet Kyna's waiting as well.
Vem saw that Wess was getting beat up, immediately switched onto Loyalist and dealt a bit of a beating. Now, Vem going to be trying to knock Loyalist off stage here, looking for an opening here, gets the back hit of the recovery. That was huge. Just look at that. That is somebody with no weapons being juggled against axe, against 2 axes. Do you know how difficult it is to land? You got to worry about D-Light. You got to worry about neutral. You got to worry about recovery. All of these different moves, but finally, that is Loyalist taking out Vem's first stock.
And that's why Vem immediately made that move. His first weapon was, of course, the gauntlets, but that weapon spawn was there. The second it was safe, he moved over to pick up that second axe, and then within seconds, all of a sudden they were swanging, the big hitboxes were coming out, and you saw exactly what they did with it. That's exactly why they wanted it. Now they're over on the double gauntlets. See if they have something in mind here, or if they're also just still looking for that weapon spawn. Kinda spending some time on the blasters. Not sure if he's looking for a weapon spawn, but he's going to fall there. Vimtankilo and Wess are doing work on Dolores, who is on his second stock, might be on final soon if they're not able to take out Vem first.
Vem has had really surprising survivability, has just barely been able to make it back onto the stage over and over again. I forgot, is that like defense stance right now? We'll have to see in a moment, but okay. Wess looking for a way to get in here. patrolling. Loyalist trying to get this juggle, and then that was excellent movement, just getting up, around, and under Loyalist, able to find the recovery around speed recovery, which is quite difficult considering how wide of a move that is.
So I'm glad you bring up stances, because it does say on the overlay, you can see next to the legend head which stance they're on. So Kyna is on movement speed, Lores is on strength. Vem10 Kilo is on default, as maybe that's a good reason that Lores is, of course, on that strength stance, because he just got the double knockout there. And then, of course, Wess is also on strength stance. So Vem and Wess have a little bit different mindsets on how they want to play this legend.
We'll see how it's panning out. At the moment, though, that is kind of second stock gone, and now they're able to focus on Loris, and they focused. They sent all the weapons out there, everything but the kitchen sink. That's going to be the spike. Now, once again, it's a 2v1. Vem and Wess, it's time to get your training room combos out. What do you have in store for us today? I
mean, I think that they might have in store what we've seen so many times from like the winner's side team once the bracket reset happens, and they're like, oh, they do gamer lean forward, and they're like, yes, now it is the time, and then you have the 3-0 or you have the 3-1, and you see like why they came into grand finals from the winner's side bracket very quickly.
I hated saying that out loud. It felt awful.
I hope nobody heard it.
I really hope so, too. It was a bit, okay? Wess, looking for the GCD light. Not going to be able to fight it quite yet, though. Kyna looking for a way to get back down here. Not going to happen anytime soon as the side comes out. Weapon toss, forcing out the dodge. Waiting, looking for the side potentially. Then a little bit of friendly fire.
Yeah, some goofy team damage coming out. It came out on the axe previously as well. Okay, they're able to secure this one with the side air from Vem10 Kilo, and the red team goes up game 1 in this bracket reset. Not bad numbers coming out from Lores. Even though he did kind of get bullied out of the game, he still did 436 damage compared to Kyna's 462, which is reasonably healthy numbers.
Going into this next game, I mean, still, once again, really unpredictable at this point. The question is, will Kyna and Loyalist really turn it up? Wess and Vem really took good advantage of when somebody was respawning and used that as an opportunity to capitalize on the other teammate, and that was most evident with Loyalist. They bullied him.
Let's see if they can do that this game. Lores already on the edge, and they are happy to push over and try and force him down into that bottom blast zone. He was able to get back, playing, of course, on this Pearl, which is that crossover for Kaya. So Kyna and Lores, it seemed like they had a little bit of an identity crisis for their team once they really started losing, but sticking, okay, the interruption there, gonna remove everybody from those bubbles.
Them coming in, sweeping in with that recovery. Now Wess,
there you go. One of the few times, that might be the first or second that we've seen that signature coming out from Kyna once he made the swap to Barraza, and that is why it is so dangerous.
Even, yeah, people are still getting caught by that. It is such a nasty move off stage like that. It catches you slipping, truly. Kyna off stage yet again, using up that recovery, and they're just going in on Loyalist at the moment. Not too successfully. The attempt was there, Kyna taking out Vem stock off the top. Take a look at the damage. Take a look at how much has already been dealt onto Loyalist. That's going to be a problem.
And there we go. That's exactly what I'm worried about. Look, we have the 3-1 split yet again for this blue team. Now, there is a bright side to this if you're the blue team, because Wess is also extremely damaged. So 3 stocks to 1, or 3 and 1 split is better than a 2 and 1 split. But Kyna now also on his second stock. And Lores, with the down signature, able to put Wess on final. So this is actually a true and proper lead for the blue team, because Vem10 Kilo is about halfway through this stock in orange.
Such a good interruption from Kyna. Vem was about to get a juggle of a lifetime onto Loyalist and said Kyna, and Kyna said stop that, cut that out right now, mitigating a lot of potential damage. Vem waiting for the moment to get back onto the stage. That was excellent. That GC neutralite to catch Kyna up there was the best possible position to move. Alas, it will result in ultimately Vem stock being taken. Kyna holding onto the stage here, trying to space out one of these sidelights.
Now, they have done a better job putting the damage on to Kyna compared to the second stock. You see him very much in the red, but again, Wess is also in dangerous territory here. Kyna putting out some blasters work onto Vem10 Kilo. Lores rotating over as well. Oh, Lores might be knocked out here. That recovery came through exactly when he needed it.
Exactly when he needed it. Vem and Wess having taken so much damage now, holding onto the side of the stage, making it back on. The weapon toss to interrupt the flow, but not enough to get past that recovery. That's that's going to be it. And now all of a sudden, it is 3 stocks to 1. There is nothing, if you're Wess, that you can do here at all. That's the D-Light. That's going to be the side O. Nice in and out, bread and butter to close out that game, to close out that stock as well. Wow.
726 damage from Kyna. Everyone needs to like on their eyes. You're not watching North America. You're not watching Cody Travis with numbers like 726. This is Kyna putting out huge numbers. Meanwhile, on the other side, it was like, okay, Lores, I'm seeing the bad sides of Lores that we saw earlier today. That was essentially like their lose condition, but he was able to tighten it up. He was able to hold on. He was able to trust his teammate while Kyna went absolutely buck wild in the background.
Indeed. And also, I will say, some of these defensive options against Blasters, especially offstage, getting called out quite often. I'm seeing a lot of dodges in, and Kyna's more than happy to call those out. So I'm curious about some of the mix-ups in that moment, but sometimes you also just have to tank that hit. Point is, Red Team is taking a lot more hits than they used to, and they are suffering for it. This entire opening has just been mayhem.
Ooh, I was about to say like this was a blue team opening, but all of a sudden things are starting to change, especially now that we see Vem and Wess both having axes in their hands. Wess is going to be disarmed. He grabs the weapon. Oh, okay, Kyna, can they turn this around? He's able to get back on the stage. I was worried.
That was a piranha that just smelled blood, wasn't it?
I thought they were going to get Lores there, and he was going to end up falling while trying to go over and rescue Kyna, and we were going to be back yet again at Kyna Lores 3-1 situation.
Just a gauntlet off stage, like, ooh, gimme. You have a healthy stock? You think you're fine? Neutrally.
Twiddling the fingers of your gauntlets like they're Hulk hands.
Yeah, I guess like your middens.
Yeah,
I suppose
okay.
You don't have like that much finger dexterity in that moment, right? So it's just like, you know.
Or it's an Infinity Gauntlet for all the dweebs at home.
Yeah, exactly. Right now, what's happening here? Oh, that's going to be Kyna's first stock gone, and they're using this moment maybe.
Vim caught under the stage, tried to go for the neutral signature. I mean, he just went for it because you got to go for it. It at least puts him there. Maybe gave Wess a little bit of time. You at least got to attempt that, but Vim is going to end up falling onto his final stocks. If they can focus on Lores and bully him onto final, that's probably their best hope right now. That's what they're going for, as Vim gets to take off the top, and now they get the 2v1 option against Kyna, forced over on the edge. They couldn't finish it off. That would have been huge, but they did do good damage.
Oh, but look at that angle that Wess gets sent at Vem as well. They get both put out of the play. Vem needing a second to disengage. Lores dealing a little bit of friendly fire, which bought time. Gauntlets off stage. They smell blood. They want that stock. They want you gone. Vem setting it up again and again with the weapon tosses. Bounce, pick up again, but that's going to be Kyna's second stock gone. Will they capitalize? But Lores stalling the descent as long as possible.
He was straight up running like the 21 Savage song. He's got all his ops running, but this time it was Lores giving Kyna time to land on the main platform, but he's still taking so much damage. But same thing for Vim, and now same thing for Wess. Everybody's almost in KO damage except for Kyna.
Gets that D-Light, Kyna backing off a little bit here, looking to catch that landing. Wess was charging up that signature. That could have been huge.
Oh, the interruption from Lores onto Kyna's recovery. That would have been the KO option. If they lose, that would be so tough, but there's the D-Light side air. Lores doing his best to make up for it. Turning around, target swapping over to Wess, sending him over to the edge. The sidelight poking, and Lores is there to finish it off. We are going into Game 4 with a Kyna Lores lead.
That was like the cleanest switch up I've actually seen. You saw like the blaster like side light come out, and then Lores is like, no, never mind, I got this. Yep. Dashes in, gets the confirm anyways. Really, really clean switch up when, you know, Kyna wasn't choosing to fully commit to the follow-up. Okay, they're down 2-1. These games are incredibly close. What is going on here? This is still another game, another set where I feel like it can go either way at the moment. The biggest issue at the moment is Kyna's damage output. That thing is ridiculous. Still 600 damage that last game, whereas everybody was stuck in the 400s.
And Lores' survivability is stepping up here. He's not putting up huge damage numbers, but he is getting good follow-ups off of Kyna. He is also serving his opponents to Kyna so that Kyna can do those big damage numbers.
On a silver platter, an offering, a sacrifice.
Yes, absolutely, saying, here you go, my friend, take this. But also on the other side, I'm looking at Wess. I wasn't really thinking too much about his survivability in terms of like length of game, but he ended up taking 691 damage before all things were said and done. That is unreal. I got to do a little bit of math. 691 divided by 3. Tazza, what's that? It's 230.
230.
On average per stock. That is unreal.
Yeah, that is actually quite a ridiculous amount, isn't it? Them still making it back onto the stage here. Wess just looking for that recovery and kind of said, hey, you whiff that, I'm going to swat you away like a little fly. Them going out there, making sure to at least close out one of those stocks, getting a lot of damage onto Warriors. This is huge.
We're going to get a game 10. Just so pretty much it's all but guaranteed at this point, as Kyna is on final stocks, and the red team.
On final stock?
Kyna's on final stock, and that KO just shut down Vimtank. Okay, I take it back. I will stop predicting this region this deep in the bracket, because all of a sudden we're almost at an even game, but Lores is very much in danger. That's why Kyna's rotating over, putting himself in a sweat beat so that he can put hurt onto Vimtank Kilo, giving Lores plenty of time to get back.
That was so smart, because Kyna recognized how dire and severe that situation was. Made sure that Vem was not comfortable even this late into the game. Huge little follow-up potential there. Vem coming back in with the sider. Now, blue team on the last stock apiece. Wess not all that beat up. Vem a little bit beat up.
Oh, that was so scary. I thought the D-Sig was going to come out and hit Kyna and send him down while he was in the middle of a recovery.
Okay, they're actually opting to focus on Vem instead of Wess in that moment. Now they get a little bit of a D-Light side of the combo, the Spirit Classic onto Wess. Vem making it back onto the stage so slowly, but look at the issue of when you have that much knockback, when you have that much damage being constantly dealt to you.
Wess is going to fall, and all of a sudden, the 1v2, or the 2v1 in this case, is favoring Kyna and Lores. Kyna does have some decent damage on this stock, but he also has his teammate still in this game. We may not be going to a game 10 unless Vimtank Kilo is able to turn up. Gets the double D-Light into the side air. Kyna gets hit by Lores and still picks up the recovery after.
Still picks it up, still makes it back onto the stage. Oh my goodness, what a follow-up. Everybody, that means that the blue team, that Kyna and Lores are going to be your South American 2v2 championships for the Autumn Champs. Congratulations. Amazing stuff there. That was a beautiful set, wasn't it?
It's crazy that they went for that neutral signature to send him back over to Lores to find another hit instead of going for like the normal option of just going for the side signature or a side air to send in the original